If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Cause I'm ready to die.
I'm ready.
Hi everybody! Hi Noga! How are you doing? Thank you for being here. Welcome to another Season 8 prediction video. Boom! Daenerys.
Yeah.
Daenerys.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
She was born to rule the Seven Kingdoms.
Was she?
That's what she says.
Okay. And I will.
So, is there a happy ending waiting for her and Jon? The Brangelina of this world? Daenerys. She's gonna die. She can't survive this season. She cannot. First of all, she peaked too soon. She's the queen, she has the dragons. They've been building it up. He has built it up for the entire series.
Rightful heir to the Iron Throne. Rightful Queen of the Andals and the First Men. Protector of the Seven Kingdoms. The Mother of Dragons. The Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea. The Unburnt. The Breaker of Chains.
Which means that it cannot happen. Whenever there's a plan that is clearly set out, then that plan is not going to come into fruition in this story.
Okay.
Story-wise, it just doesn't work at all. That she wins, it's the happy ending that this story is not about.
If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.
Okay, so she wants to be queen, okay, there are challenges along the way, and then she's queen. What kind of story? It's not that story. Mm-hmm. A different story could have a Daenerys-like character be queen, but just seems very straightforward without real tragedy. Okay, she lost her son, unborn son, 7 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
She also lost her dragon, one of her dragons.
Okay.
Yeah, but...
So she has challenges and then she persevered.
So maybe there will be a split. Maybe...
So she'll have like part of the Seven Kingdoms?
She could. I mean, maybe that will be part of the negotiation and the final solution,
Right,
like a two-state solution.
The final solution is a two-state solution? I don't know. That's not a good PR move to call it that way. But from a story, from the narrative's perspective, it just seems really boring. אני רוצה ניתוח פסיכולוגי של בן אדם מגלומני, שפתאום מגלה שיש מישהו אחר לפניה, ושיש לה איזה איזה סנסה אחת, סתם איזה בחורה שעושה לה תרגילים. היא מגלומני, יש לה דרקונים. היא ניצחה את המלחמה. כולם קראו לה ברך.
So, when we analyzed Daenerys, remember in that video, it was a long time ago.
It was our first video together.
It was our first video together. So, we said in a way that part of her process, part of what motivates her, is to step away from her vulnerable state and to be in a position where she's not vulnerable anymore.
Yes.
And she has the dragons, and she won the war.
Right.
And basically her whole narcissistic background, like the whole stories of her family, are now accumulating into this moment in history where she can finally fulfill her narcissistic, grandiose self.
Right, which doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't happen very
people.
often. Yeah, it's something that, I mean, it's a once-in-a-lifetime, of course, opportunity.
Dracarys.
And for her, like, everything led to this moment.
And then
And then
she finds out this guy is before her on the succession line, and there's this little girl Sansa who thinks that she can be queen, and all kinds of people just like speaking up their mind, not understanding who she is. She doesn't have very good impulse control also.
yeah, that's true.
Where are my dragons?
Yeah, that's part of her heritage, and also part of the things that she's trying to avoid. That's also her fear, like the fact that
She'll be crazy like her dad.
she'd be crazy like her dad. Like they will pull the Targaryen out of her.
Right.
Because on the one hand there is this kind of like grandiose self. On the other hand, there is that self that doesn't want to go into that place, like the self that wants to be good
Right.
and wants to be like beneficial to
So maybe that was like her safe space with John. Like that was a space where she could just relax a little bit and not be this crazy person. And he submitted to her, so that makes it very easy.
Yeah.
But then there's competition is creeping into the relationship. Competition, rivalry within the relationship. That's not very healthy.
Yeah, it's like the moment wherein you find out, it's like the jamais vu, like the opposite of déjà vu. Like, who is this person? I'm sleeping with the enemy in a way. Like, I thought that I was safe. I thought that I could be vulnerable with him. And we saw them being vulnerable together, like in the bed scene and everything. And then suddenly, no, he's more powerful. He has more leverage than I do. So, yeah, that could be really like, I think that for Daenerys, that will be like the worst thing when it comes to the incest thing. Like, it's not about the incest itself, it's more about the political meanings of it.
Right, she can rationalize the incest.
Yeah, she can
with
rationalize
Targaryens,
it.
that's fine.
Yeah, but the fact that, her whole story was based on her being a Targaryen, and then suddenly you have another Targaryen there that is even more, that's
more
really...
male.
Yeah.
He has more of a penis than she has.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a big advantage.
Yeah, and then the penis envy creeps in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's starting the season, first of all, in love. And, like this very cute couple, power couple.
You are Drogon. No, you are Schmoopy.
Yeah, exactly. And we know that she likes a powerful man by her side. And she does like that. But now it's different with the power balance with Drogo. It was much more, and now it's different. And so she's starting off really in this very secure, I made it phase, everything is going to be okay. I'm going to have a king by my side and, everything is going to be great.
Right. He will be married to the ruler queen.
Yes, he will be, yeah.
That's what she'll think.
That's what she'll think, yeah.
And Sansa is obviously not happy about that. There will be tension there.
Winterfell is yours, Your Grace.
Yeah.
So Sansa will see her as a threat, obviously. And Sansa has to be queen. She has to.
She has to. Because we want her to be queen.
Because we already said that.
Okay, we already said
We cannot change the past. Since we said she'll be queen, then we cannot undo it.
It's written on YouTube.
It's as if it already happened. So if Sansa will be queen, then she has to die. Because she's just stuck there. And it makes perfect sense in the story. And if Arya does it, it will be incredible. And if she dies in Jon's arms, I feel that it will be super kitschy with melodramatic music and slow motion and whatever. We'll just have to enjoy the ride because this will be the kind of season that it will be. Just we saw again in the trailer Miss Sunday kissing Grey Worm. Like she's like the main character together with Jon. Something bad needs to happen to both of them. What is the payoff? What is the payoff? I think it's boom, call it confirmed. You can take it to the Iron Bank. She is going to die.
Okay.
I'm 100% sure about that. If anyone wants to bet, please mention in the comments. I will gladly not be able to take your money because it will just be a bet in the comments. So the question is, how will she die? So for the longest time, I had the notion that is, I think is very popular out there, that she's like Nissa. Jon is Azor Ahai. So the story goes that Azor Ahai, the way he defeated the Long Night, he killed his wife, Nissa. She is Misa. She is Misa. Misa is mother. That's whatever the slavers in the slaves' tongue.
Of course.
And he's Azor Ahai. So this is just like begs the comparison that he will have to kill her somehow in order to defeat the Long Night. I don't believe that anymore. I hope it won't be that way because it's just too predictable.
It's like the repetition compulsion of the story. Like the story says you have to, there are all kinds of foreshadowings and the characters, you have to repeat them in order for it to be complete.
Doesn't take prophecies as like at face value and literally. You can interpret it one way or another way, so it doesn't have to be exactly the same. First of all, I think she will be betrayed by Tyrion. Okay, we've seen that they haven't been getting along this past season. And he's been watching them, Jon and Daenerys have sex, and he was thinking about something that is not positive. That's what we could tell from his face. And I think he's going to move over to Sansa. And the only reason that he supports her is because he thinks that she will be the best queen.
Like, do you see a connection between him watching them having sex and her not being like the best queen in his eyes anymore? I mean,
Maybe he's thinking, okay, I lost my place. Now she has someone else to advise her. She doesn't need me. She doesn't need the hand of the king. And when she left to save Jon, he didn't agree with that at all, right? He told her, no, you are too important. Maybe he will tell her the same when there's the war with the Night King. He said, no, okay, obviously we have to win. Send Jon. You have to stay here for the day after. And when she will be out there fighting, he will stay with Sansa, and he will realize, no, she's a better bet, because then it will be politics. After the war, the politics will decide who will be the queen. So, and she's not a good politician.
part of their dilemma, like Jon and Daenerys, the fact that they will have to choose love over ruling. Yeah, I mean, if she chose to save him,
Right.
and so maybe they will have to make a similar choice again.
And she says, I was born to rule the seven kingdoms, and I will. And she has this speech about how she made everything happen and she's so special. Then she finds out that this guy who bent the knee to her, now he's the king, and everybody knows him. They don't know her. And she has to be his queen. Do you think she can handle that? And they're also related. They're going to find out that they're related.
Yes.
As a professional, as a medical professional, when two lovers discover that they are aunt and nephew, what does the literature, academic literature, says about these specific kinds of cases?
Well, first of all, you know that there is this kind of phenomena that's called genetic sexual attraction.
Okay.
I mean, it's something that's very known in like people that were sent out to adoption,
Right.
and then they get
Right.
together again.
Something irresistible, right?
One of the theories is that it's part of, I mean, we're more drawn to people who are genetically similar to us. I mean, people in general, humans are more similar to us genetically than, you know, other species.
Okay.
And so we have this kind of inclination, and we have to be together in a certain window of opportunity in our development in order for us not to be attracted to each other.
Right.
You see all kinds of cultures where the children are raised together, like in a kibbutz, or like there are all kinds of cultures that, you know, they send the girl to live with her future husband because they can't support the girl financially, and then they don't have sexual attraction between them because they're together at that period of time. So it makes sense from that kind of perspective.
For
that
them to be attracted.
for them to be attracted to each other.
Okay. And then when they find out,
And then when they found out, then the taboo of incest is so great that it will probably cause a lot of shame and you know, disgust and
for the Targaryens, it's not that much of a taboo.
right. But it's like Oedipus, when he discovered that he had sex with his mother and that he married her, he pulled his eyes out. Yeah. So so there is this kind of like self-punishment because it's so great.
But he stays with his mom.
Yeah.
I think she has no place in the new world. She's old world. She's also very authoritarian by nature. She has dragons. She's the daughter of the Mad King. I think the new world will not be the same as the old world because this is an epic story, so the world has to change. This world is going through a massive transformation, through a process. The magic, waking up, this is all part of like the politics, the political situation, political system is crumbling and the magic is rising and now coming to a head. This will be a magical season and then something needs to be different. She has no place in that different world. And I think at the end, politics will decide. I think there will be some kind of a move towards democratization in some sort. I think the lords will be voting for who gets to be queen or king. And it's kind of been foreshadowed in Fire and Blood. And I think that once the other lords have to choose, she will come in complacent, being sure, okay, I won the war. And then they're like, you be crazy, you have dragons, you are dangerous, you don't really care about us, you don't know us, you're a foreigner.
You murdered your own father and chose to support a foreign invader, one with no ties to this land, with an army of savages at her back.
Sansa, I'm going to vote for Sansa. I'm going to have a room at her court. She's going to listen to me. You don't have to listen to me. So I think that she will be outmaneuvered by the end. So I mentioned in the previous prediction videos, I think maybe Arya will kill her. And I have this image for the last shot.
Okay.
That she's betrayed, she's been outplayed, and then as she's dying, she will look at Jon and she will think that he was in on it. She will tell him, you knew! I didn't know! I didn't know! He will hold her. Oh, you knew, Jon Snow.
Well, it makes sense in a way because, he had Ygritte and, he has this kind of like, his mother died giving birth to him. His former love... Yeah, his girlfriend died in his arms, and now another woman he loves will die in his arms. Maybe that will make sense. And like another way of repetition compulsion, of course, it's the destiny thing or like the faith thing.
Yeah.
And not something that he provokes, but it's definitely part of his story.
Why do you keep recreating the situation where women around you die, Jon?
Exactly, John. I mean, what's wrong with you? Yeah.
Come on, this is like 3 times.
Yeah,
Something in you brings death to the women you love.
Yeah, and he's death-proof in a way. But what will be the relationship between Arya and Jon after she kills the woman he loves? I mean, that's
that's a problem.
That's a problem because
For my theories.
Yeah.
That's a problem for my theories.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's talk about Jon in Jon's video.
Okay.
You're right. This is something that I need to figure out. Nobody likes the dragons.
Yeah, but they're much more dangerous without Daenerys.
What if they fall into the wrong hands?
Yeah,
we
exactly.
have to kill them.
Or if Daenerys dies, what happens to the dragons? They could be, on the loose. And then they're completely, because they're also grieving and, they're,
And even with her, just like I wouldn't want a dragon queen. It's scary. If I cross her politically, for some reason, she can just burn my castle just like that.
Of course. People saw her do it. Like, it's not something,
Right.
They bent the knee out of fear. It wasn't respect.
And this is the way it happened with Aegon the Conqueror. And then her father was crazy. And she's the dragon. She's the blood of the dragon. Dragons are monsters. They're dangerous. She's a conqueror. She's not a ruler.
Because there's also, though, the underlying question of who's the hero or heroine of the show. Like, we're not used to having so many characters as main characters.
Right.
So people think that it could be Jon or Daenerys, like they're the main characters, and that's basically their story. And basically, it's the story of the realm,
we thought it was Ned's story, or Robb's story, or the Stark's story.
Yeah, no, it's not the Stark story.
Right, it's the story of the realm. Right, yeah. Story of a realm falling apart, and then recreating itself as something new.
Yeah, a realm that is made of individuals, but basically the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and people die, people change, new characters come in. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
The realm is indifferent in a way.
Right, it's like climate change.
Right, exactly. The earth is indifferent.
And also, I think so it has to end with this united kingdom. The dragons had a chance to unite the kingdom. They couldn't do it. They could only make it 7 kingdoms. So fire and blood doesn't cut it. People need to somehow willingly forego their power and their privileges to this one ruler who will protect them in a Hobbesian sense. I can't see how she will have more power than Aegon, the conqueror who created these 7 kingdoms. So again, if the story ends where it started, Robert Baratheon, okay, now Daenerys Targaryen, one realm. So that was the story about a war that ended, and then we're just where we started with the restoration of the old house? Or what is the message of the story? What is the theme? It's kind of weird.
There was the destroyer, and she can be the creator. I mean, basically, that could be also part of the...
Like a destroyer that... Creator of what? Not creator. Restoration. It's not creator. It's not something new. It's going back.
Well, maybe she will, because now, you know, the White Walkers are going to destroy. Maybe she will create. I don't know. Like, there are all kinds of, like, dialectics
the good Targaryen.
The good Targaryen. That's like a reparation of the repetition compulsion.
Okay.
Who knows, you know? Yeah.
You know what? Maybe she will have... She locked the dragons when the dragons were dangerous. Maybe now people will say, no, you can't lock the dragons. You have to kill your dragons if you want to be queen.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's like disarming of nuclear weapons.
Right. You can't be the only one with nuclear weapons, right?
Yeah.
So you have to kill your dragons, and then maybe that will trigger the fight. Something has to give. Something has to give. We'll have time to figure it out exactly how it will work out.
Yeah. We'll do that
during the season.
During the season.
So we'll post so many videos during the season. Not only about Game of Thrones, movies, psychoanalyzing movies, science, boom, also historical movies, philosophic breakdowns of movies. We're going to start a new series of philosophy. Boom. So subscribe to get all our videos before the season, during the season, after the season. We're doing the Game of Thrones now, but it's not a Game of Thrones channel. We're expanding to all kinds of other stuff on top of the regular content. So if you want to support that endeavor, you can go to patreon.com/GotAcademy. Your support is very much appreciated, and I want to thank the patrons that have made it possible so far, including you, Noga.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
All warm and fuzzy inside, yeah.
Yes. So we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I'm not gonna die. Yeah, I'm going to die. Oh, yeah.